Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Let's Play Planescape Torment with me, your host Tim. And I've got an hour before bed, which is just enough time to do a bunch of reading as we enter the Sanatorium. This will be from here on out everyone, this is all new to me, so I am really looking forward to all of this. Let's get going and see what's in store for the Nameless One. And if we can finally figure out why he is the way he is.
Through observation, sensation, and experience, the truth of the multiverse shall be revealed.
Okay, when we were last here, we talked to Splinter. He gave us some information about where some people are. Let's begin talking to a few people.
All right.
Hello, Jolmy. That's a very fetching dress. This stern, older-looking woman seems to be looking for someone. Her eyes fix upon your face as you approach her. You there! Might I have a word with you? Of course. My name is Jolmy, a noblewoman of the House Sirma. I am seeking a certain man that I have been told cannot die. A terribly scarred man, for whom death is nothing but the most trivial of annoyances. What bits of a description I have gathered match you quite well. Are you this man? Everyone in the world seems to know who I am, don't they? I have to remember that this place is a massive city, easily bigger than New York and Philadelphia put together. So it's quite possible I've been everywhere in this city, and only now some people in this area are beginning to recognize me. I won't lie to her. Yes, I am.
Updated my journal.
I am pleased to meet you then. She gives a slight bow. I would make you a somewhat unusual proposal. Though you must admit, you are an unusual man. I will give you 1,000 copper commons for your permission to kill you. Are you open to discussion on the matter? But why? Dromy doesn't bat an eyelash. But why not? I thought it might be an interesting experience paying someone for the privilege of murdering them. When I first heard rumors of your existence, how could I resist? So, what is your answer? Shall we discuss the matter in greater details? One moment. Where did you hear these rumors? Dromy frowns. One hears all sorts of things in the fest hall. How could one not eventually hear of a man like you? Again, I ask, will you consider my proposal? Yes, let's work out the details. After a short discussion, it comes down to the following terms. Jolmy will pay you 2,000 copper commons. In return, you will allow her to drive her dagger into your heart. She will wait for you to awaken, at which point she will give you the coin. Do you agree to this, then? Well, how would I feel about this? She's probably doing this because she's a sensate, and an experience would be killing me, right? You would want to know what it feels like afterwards to kill someone, I suppose. If you want to experience everything, I mean everything life has to throw at you. Although I would hope there'd be one of these sensorium stones, or sensory stones, that would teach you as such. I don't see the harm in this. Everyone else is busy talking, no one else is looking, not even my companions are looking at me. Except for Mort, who's actually just looking at her, and Splinter, who's seen lots of death. Yeah, let's do it. The affair is over in moments. She's already cleaned her blade and put it away by the time you've recovered. After you're picking yourself up off the fest hall floor, Dromy hands you several thousand rolls of copper coins while you rub your aching chest. Somewhat disappointing, I must admit. Oh well. Coin well spent, nonetheless. Farewell. Yes, farewell.
Updated my journal.
I allowed Dromy to stab me through the heart for a handsome sum of coin. She seems somewhat disappointed with the experience, but I'm pleased well enough with the coin. I guess that ran smoothly. I guess she didn't have anything able to kill me. This guy has blue hands. Mertwin the Headless? That's interesting. Hello, sensates. This person turns as you interrupt them, nodding a polite greeting. Apologies, good sir, but I was just in the middle of something, and if you don't mind, farewell. They give a polite half bow and make to continue about their business. Fair enough.
Done.
It occurs to me with a few more points in pickpocket. Probably the... You know what? I think the next level for Anna's all going to pickpocket. And then I can maybe begin picking people's pockets more effectively. This throne appears to be as old as the building itself. It looks unused. More a piece of artwork than a ruler's seat. Indeed it does. Can I walk behind it?
All right.
Yeah, I can't imagine a king greeting someone here. Mertwin the Headless. It's clear there's something very wrong with this man. The way he lurches about, bumping into things, staring off blankly into space. As you approach him, you at last realize his plight. He's headless. The thing on his shoulders is merely a skillfully carved wooden prosthesis. A false head. Greetings? The headless body stops fumbling for a moment and pauses. Its hands begin to reach out as if trying to feel exactly where you are. I'll grab its hand. The headless figure jumps suddenly, then holds your hand tightly, shaking it. The headless body seems friendly enough, it has a strong grip, but the skin is cold and slightly clammy. Oh, where's your head? Can you even understand me? The figure makes a series of hand motions, then waits for a response. It seems like it's asking a question. Well, what? I don't understand. The headless body taps its foot for a moment, scratching at the chin of its prosthetic head. Suddenly, it raises a finger as if struck by an idea, which I'm doing, which none of you can see. It points at you, at the eyes of its wooden head, then at you again. It then indicates its wooden head with both hands, shrugs, points at you. No, I haven't seen your head anywhere. The headless body shrugs, slumps a bit, and begins to amble off. Oh, if we see a head, we'll keep an eye open for it, I suppose. Interesting. Where would one find a head? We found lots of skeletal heads. But that's it. Now this was... Back your lids and crack your bone boxes. This demon crap barmy.
I'm gone.
This must be one of the learning chambers. Learning chambers? How should I say? I can't even think properly at the moment. Let's walk in here and see what's going
Done.
on.
Hi?
Anna, you can have a seat
What's
there. Mort, you can have a seat up
Sure,
front.
why not?
Actually, you probably have a seat near Anna.
Okay.
Everyone can have
I
different
think,
seats.
therefore I am. I think.
And I will talk to this gentleman and listen
I'm
to
gone.
what I'm assuming is a speech of some sort. Garrus the Crooked. This squat, hunched old man still has the broad shoulders and scarred, calloused hands of a worker or warrior. An aura of weary despair seems to hang about him. He seems to be giving a lecture at the... Lecture hall, that's what I meant. A lecture at the moment. Teaching room? What the heck is wrong with me? Stay for the lecture. Right. Now listen up. This is a seminar on the war. If you're here to listen about the blood war, take root. If you're not, you're in the wrong all, and you best ump your soft, comfort-loving Sigilian lumber stems out of here. The blood war? More boring than listening to a governor recite laws. Let's find some young sensates who need to be indoctrinated in the ways of passion. He waggles eyebrows in anticipation. No, Mort, I want to hear this. The man suddenly throws a dark eye over the audience as if looking for something. And further, if you're Tanari or Batazu, ump your scaly eyes out the door. I ain't letting no ornery bastards bend an ear to this and then listen to your balmy arguments. Miss Fall for Grace, I think you'll just have to listen to this. We're gonna keep listening. Cause this is no discussion on who's right. Behind you, you hear the sounds of something large leaving the lecture hall. It just tells the blood war from the human point of view. It's not promoting one side or another, cause they both stink in different ways. Okay, there's a great many more people here, so imagine a huge hall, perhaps. Or maybe like a college lecture hall. That's probably the size of each of these rooms in reality. The speaker becomes somber. So, what's left of you wanting to listen to some Blood War stories? Tales about the war. Heir to heir, the warrior of it all, no doubt. The floating fortress, wove and weaved human skin. The plains-wide battlegrounds the Blood War be fought on. He bares his yellow teeth. Tales of fiends locking fangs with other fiends. Gar, snar. His snarl suddenly fades and he looks suddenly bored. Well, let me peel back your lids and crack your bone boxes. 'Tis all a steaming heap of balmy nonsense to be dwelling on that forge dung. He spits in derision, rolling his eyes wildly. I'll tell you this, though. You can't imagine the scale the Blood Wars fought on. Nothing you've seen, heard, or participated in. Nothing compares. Time, numbers of legions, sheer bloodshed. Nothing compares, Burks. To try and imagine it, forget it. My advice, simple. Stay away from the big bloody mess altogether. The only thing you needs to know is this. Fiends are killing fiends. Batazu are slaughtering Tanari. Tanari are butchering Batazu. Right now. He spits again. Neither's winning. Don't think either can win. Biggest stalemate this side of eternity. Thank the powers. That's it, he shrugs. I'll be answering any questions you got for me now. I have a question. What's your question, Cutter? What started the Blood War? You got a right to be curious about what started this big old sodden soupy mess in the first place. What set the fiends a locking horns in the first place, biting and crawling at each other over until that was the only reason they were alive. Go on. Simple. They met. Tanara and Batazu crossed each other one day like two drunken bigots. They set to fighting. That's simple. He frowns. Well, go on. Nah, pike that. Imagine two drunken priests who believe each other knows the only way to live. Oh, wow. Now make those priests ripped with scales and fangs and horns and cruel streak 7 leagues wide and put them in an itty-bitty sodden cell. And you've that good idea of that love that can spring forth. And there you have it. Origin of the Blood War. Oh, man. Terrible. They just loathe each other, want each other to die. Why are two evil races fighting, though? One believes evil should be nice and orderly. One believes evil should be chaos, running rampant across the plains. Both evil, but doesn't mean they can agree on anything. Bad blood. Bad blood. Each wants to exterminate the other, so only their brand of evil remains. They hate each other, like... He brings his hands together, or in my case snapping, trying to find the right words. You see, they don't hate like we hate. We don't even know what their hate is. We have one word for hate. They have... His voice drops. Thousands upon thousands. Their meanings twisted and piled like bodies. That's why they fight. Let me ask you something else. Where is the Blood War fought? Plenty of places. Usually the lower plains, anywhere along the river Styx, the 9 layers of Beator, the 4 furnaces of Gehenna, the Grey Waste, Cold, Red, Kansari, the Prison Plain, and the piken near Endless Well of Evil that's the Abyss. Somehow the Grey Waste sounds familiar to you. Oh, isn't Ravel from the Grey Waste? The Sisters of the Grey Waste, yes, the Hags. Tell me about the Grey Waste. Also called the Glooms. He shrugs and then shivers, as if by reflex. Great every sense of the word. Colors burn your eyes there. They shout, are too loud, and your dreams are pulled to the surface and poured on the ground, lost forever. Only the night hags rule there, the ladies of the waste. Let me ask about something else. Describe the Batazu. The man nods. They don't usually pay as much as the Tanari, but they don't break their written word. They're smart, though. Several hundredfold smarter. and they are be making contracts since time began. They know how to peel someone with words, they do. Sign, and most likely you be peeled and hung to dry in their legions. This is the equivalent, probably, then, of signing a contract with a lawyer who... Or signing a contract that is not in your best favor, and then it being enforced on you. I can see specific... Well, no, specific performance is something different. Go on. They plan like bastards. They put more thought and preparation into a single strategic skirmish than most human armies devote to an entire campaign. They usually assemble their forces on Avernus, their first layer of Beator. What's it like there? Avernus? The man grimaces, as if recalling the place caused physical anguish. It is inhabited by the damned and those that prey on the damned, the red-flicked lands of noxious sands and blistering fires that scream across the landscape. That was my taste of Beator, the lair of Avernus. Terrible place, sounds like literal hell. What sort of forces serve in the Blood War? All sorts, aside from the various mortal burks across the plains, Abishai and Congruians, Lemurs and Nupiro. Oh wow, Nuperbo, Succubi, the list goes on and on. Tell me about the Nuperibo. Now, before I ask about each one, I'm going to try to rack my memory what these things look like. It's been forever since I had my 2nd edition monster manual with me. These were, I think, huge, bloated things with tiny hands and something, and they might have caused disease when they struck you. Fat little pikers that have these tiny, tiny heads. Deaf, dumb, and blind, they exist to die on the front line. Hard to kill, too. Even the most wee bit of them will grow back to a whole one if you let it. Oh, okay, so they regenerate. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Batazu were extremely difficult to kill. The Tanari have infinite numbers. It's like an unkillable enemy fighting an enemy that just endlessly attacks. Like, there's no end to them, ever. And that's the war. Oh, man. What other sorts of forces serve? Tell me about the Lemurs. Are these the little, disgusting-looking things, or are these the more humanoid thing? We'll ask about them anyway. Lemurs are these things that look like melted people, annoying little sods that regenerate, even as you're killing them. They're oblivious to danger or pain, and so will never run away from a fight. Mostly good for dying on the front lines, and not much else. Alright, so these are the weak forces. The Abishai, we've seen them walking around Sigil. We'll ask about them anyway. They're the grunts in most Batazu armies. There's different sorts, black-scaled ones being the weakest and most common. Tell me about the Succubi. I mean, we have one with us. Tanari, lovely but dead evil they are. They seduce mortals to try and drag him into the abyss. He nods to fall from grace. No offense, milady. None taken. You are quite correct. What other sorts of forces are there? Cornugons. I think these things, again, have like a giant neck and a head on them. I was thinking of something from Hades, but I think that's them. Oh, or are these the giant-handed, winged creatures? Oh, I can't remember now. My mind, I know the picture I used to have because I used it in a campaign once. I think these things are like the Abishai. Never mind. I think the Cornugons were something different. Cornugons are dead, Ardcutter. It's rare to see more than a few of them altogether, though sometimes they form bands of elite troops. Usually they lead lesser forces, like Abishai and mortal mercenaries, into battle. Oh, unless this is... Oh, never mind. That's right. This was described to us. This is the giant red demon, I think. I don't know. I wish he described it. I can't remember. I'm remembering all the creatures now, and probably getting them messed up by what's a... The Batazu look like devils. But the creatures from the... Oh, no, we're talking about the creatures from... We're talking about the Tanari. We're not talking about Batazu. I'm getting my creatures mixed up. I'm gonna stop talking now. Well, I'm gonna keep talking, but I'm gonna stop putting my own opinion in here. What sort of other forces serve in the... let's ask about something else. Let's think here. Describe the Batazu. Man nods. They don't usually pay as much as a Tanari, but they don't break the... Oh, wait, we already did this. Oh, okay, so this discusses both sides. Okay, I was confused. I thought it was only Tanari. The Abishai are Tanari. Cornugons, I can't remember what they are. I think they're... Wait, no, I'm sorry. The Abishai... Yeah, the Abishai... No, the Abishai are Batazu. Is that right? No, all these are from the Abyss. All those are from the Abyss. That's interesting. Alright, tell me about the Tanari. The man nods. The Tanari pay better than the Batazu, but you need to be 2 or 3 faced and have a bunch of eyes sprinkled over your body, because you can't ever turn your back on them. They're chaos. The ones with whim and whimsy in their hearts, trust or upholding their word, aren't high on their list. And go on. He sniffs and shrugs. I don't care what happens, so long as something happens, and 'tis evil. Mostly they attack the Batazu to keep from killing each other. How does one get hired into the Blood War? You know, every once in a when, some leather-headed Burk comes round asking about a job in the Blood War. They want some jink. They want a quick stint, and then to get along with their lives. Mayhap I was one of those leatherheads. Mayhap I was a sellsword, and heard there was a little jink to be made in the Blood War. Got me interested. Go on. Taught me a lesson, it did. We're like ants, running around the heels of dancing sodpike gods. I saw big men who claimed to be big soldiers. Shakes his head. Paper soldiers. War's a furnace for 'em. Makes 'em wake up or burn. So how'd you survive? The man's face darkens. Well, that's the one thing I won't speak of, Cutter. Suffice to say, a man does what he has to escape the war. Do I anger him? Later. Can you give me a little more information on the Blood War itself? If I were to boil it down, it'd be this. The Blood War has been going on a damn near forever, and will keep going on until damn near forever itself gets penned in the dead book. The Tanari, the champions of chaos and evil, are trying to stomp the green-colored dung out of the Batazu, the champions of law and evil. They butcher each other over how each of them thinks evil should be. If you can believe that. Ha! What do you think would happen if someone stopped the Blood War? You can't make any piking difference in the war. It's too sudden big. You're a stone, a pebble in an ocean that's a pebble in another ocean which is a pebble in another ocean, and so on and so forth till the stench cows come home. As a pebble, your goal is to not be noticed and sink to the bottom with the rest of the dregs. Go on. If you could make a difference, which you can't, you shouldn't try, because then the planes would tumble on down. How so, and why? He holds up his hands like pillars. The Blood Wars, like a big bloody support beam, propping up the planes. Kick it down, and a lot of the planes would come tumbling down with it. A lot of baggage rests on the back of the war. He suddenly brays like a donkey, laughing bitterly, which I'm not going to do. The biggest, nastiest pack animal on the plains. Go on. He grins cynically. Besides, as some say, war is great for business. He laughs hollowly, then looks as if he could suddenly cry. Never mind that. Another question. Are you alright? You seem pained. The man smiles sadly. Listen, Cutter. I'm no priest, nor would I want to be one, but hear this. Keep evil out of your heart. When you die with evil in your heart, your spirit falls into the lower planes, where you become a petitioner. Any guesses as to what happens then? Petitioners in the Abyss and Beator get twisted into foot soldiers and get to fight in the Blood War for all eternity. So that's the dark as to why the Batazu and Tanari try to corrupt all they touch. Because they need more troops. Eat this. Keep evil far from your heart, Burke. Let me ask you about something else. So I guess they take those souls and convert them into the creatures we've been hearing about. So, you'll tell us no other tales of the Blood War, then? Other than the ones you've already been saying? Alright, alright. 1. Let me give you an example of what meat means to them. They'll get some mean-spirited mortal mercenaries together, mayhap a drop of a few million strong, let them slaughter each other for no real reason at all. A pointless battle over some power-forsaken piece of land. Guess where all those souls go? Where? Their souls sink into the lower planes of evil they fought on, where they can be ripped from the soup of the plane and set to fight again as the moors or mains, whatever the pike and sod those little fiendish dung heaps become. Mains are the humanish-looking creatures from the Tanari. The more of those sodden petitioners they get, the more troops they have. How did you survive the Blood War again? So he says that. A woman named Vashika told me you had to murder your own men to escape the war. The man's face becomes red with anger. Watch your mouth, Cutter! That's a lie! A foul, foul lie! Are you barmy, jawing with a fiend over the war and believing every word of it? That's what she told me. I didn't say I took it as truth. I'll tell you what happened, Burke. He sighs and calms down slightly. I was part of the company of the Blazing Effigy. Part of its original number was 53 mortal mercenaries. Only 9 of us remained. Camped somewhere in Arvinus we were, awaiting reinforcements for the next battle. Go on. Well, my tour was nearly done then. In fact, I was to leave after that battle. The trouble was, I had died there. Oh, had I died there, I would have been theirs forever. Too much blackness, too much evil in my heart. I would have ended up a petitioner in Beator, an eternal soldier in the war. He shudders at the thought. Well, what happened? Me and 2 other lads fled like dogs. That's what happened. We strode across the plain for a handful of days before we came to this great pillar of Living Eds. Living Eds, in fact. An awful sight it was. They jabbered and hissed at us, calling for us to come closer. That night, I stole away from the others and went to talk to the pillar. Wow, this sounds very Eternal Darkness. And? Gaius shuts his eyes and rubs his temples. I asked this pillar how I might be freed, how I might escape Beator, and it told me in exchange for the 2 of my brothers. He's quiet for a moment, biting on his knuckles as if fighting back tears. To me, at the time, it was just math. Still sounds like you murdered them to me. He nods. Not sure I'll forgive myself. Now I'm just another soldier who's looking for a place to die. Trying to erase the stain of evil, cleanse my inner Gaius before I die and return to the Blood War. I left you here to keep people away from it all, to prevent them from ever having to make a choice like that. He doesn't want people to know. As useful as I think this is, I'm torn on what to say to him. That's fine. I think actually he's doing a good thing. But he should share that tale with people to let them know how twisted and evil it is and how he got out, what you have to get through to get out. The first sounds like a bribe, or rather blackmail. There we go. Sounds like blackmail, and I'm not interested in blackmailing him. That's fine, Gaius. Right. This is the last bit, then. Some of ye are sentients, so I've got one thing to say to ye. Don't sign up to see what the Pike and Blood War is about. Don't be a barmy idiot. There's a sensory stone, if you gots to know, but stay that L's away from anything to do with the Blood War for real. 'Tis just not worth it. For a moment, a look of great pain crosses the man's face. It looks as if he is going to weep. It's not worth it at all. That's the end of the session, so farewell. Wow, how sad. An interesting game. The only way to win is not to play.
I'm gone.
Don't fight in the Blood War. Alright, so now... I suppose we are just going to explore all the rest of these halls. I'm thinking, by the way, the next point I should probably place in this, into my stat should be Wisdom. I have a hunch it might be a little too low to be picking up some of these... some memories. What's my Wisdom? 20? Yeah, I'll put one more point in that next level. This is definitely the fighter area. Let's give a talk to the various people here. Warrior in training, warrior in training. Just a bunch of training warriors. Let's give a talk to like 3 of them. This person is practicing various combat maneuvers on a wooden training dummy. They seem far too busy to speak with you at the moment. Fair enough. How about these gentlemen? This person is breathing heavily and is covered with a fine sheen of sweat, as if they had just finished some strenuous exercise. They turn to you as you approach. Yes? What is this place? They nod towards the training dummies. The warrior's training chamber. Oh, where's the trainer?
Updated my journal.
Kisai. They shrug, wiping sweat from their brow. Somewhere in the fest hall, most likely. He's hard to miss. His skin is like gray stone. That's all I wish to know. Farewell. Okay, the rest are all practicing.
All right. Done. Done. I'm gone.
Can't be shifted aside. Alright, we have to leave doors ajar. That's right, the fighter, mages, and thief rooms. Let's see if this is another lecture hall. Oh, seems to be.
Endure. In enduring, grow strong.
Huh? Okay.
Everyone
Yes?
can walk around as we talk to this gentleman, see what he's talking about. Though I saw the word mechanist. 3 planes aligned. Thin and sharp-featured, his yellow skin covered with tattoos, this man looks over the room and its inhabitants with cold black eyes. He appears to be giving a lecture. Let's listen to it. I am known as 3 Planes Aligned, a Githzari scholar. If you are here for my lecture, it begins in a few moments. Mortnot sighs loudly. Come on, Chief. Are we really going to stay for this? Let's ignore him. He speaks in a very low, somber tone. Today, I shall speak of the power of alignment and belief, and how they shape the planes. First, I shall explain the concept of alignment. Alignment is a descriptor of one's beliefs, and how one acts upon those beliefs. At their core, all creatures predominantly behave in one of 3 ways: with good in their hearts, with evil in their hearts, or indifference, or neutrality in their heart. They predominantly express each of these core behaviors in one of 3 different ways: in an ordered manner, in a chaotic manner, or an indifferent, neutral manner. Thus, there are 9 core alignments that one is capable of. The 9 alignments, then, are lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, and chaotic neutral, and lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. Now I shall speak of the power of alignment and the beliefs it engenders, of how from them the very deities gain strength, and how belief can physically affect one's environments. A deity must have worshippers, for it is the faith of such subjects that gives them power. As converts are made and more come to believe in a god, the more power that god receives. Conversely, when no one believes in a deity, it withers and dies, joining the corpses of other gods that float on the astral plane. It is thus possible to slay a deity by simply forgetting about them. Interesting. But believing in a god gives you powers, so that doesn't require faith. That's just the way it is. Okay, well, let's keep listening. A much more striking example of the power of alignment and belief, however, can be seen within the sliding of gate towns. First, though, I would define gate towns. Gate towns are towns on the Outlands, the largely neutral area which Sigil spins over the center of. They are called gate towns because they are built around a permanent gate or portal to one of the outer planes. Each of these outer planes has its own alignment. The Abyss is chaotic and evil. Beator is lawful and evil. Mechanus is lawful neutral. Mount Celestia is lawful and good. The Outlands, again, are true neutral, leading to neither law or chaos. Sliding occurs when there is a high concentration of belief in an area of differing belief. When this occurs, an area itself will move or slide to a plane that matches the new belief. Now, the gate towns usually have a strong belief that matches the outer plane beyond the portal, but the belief is not yet strong enough for the town to slide from the Outlands and into the outer plane. For example, the town of Ribcage borders the portal to the lawful evil plane of Beator. As expected, the residents of Ribcage are largely lawful evil residents, but the entire town's alignment and beliefs are not strong enough so that Ribcage will slide into Beator. For example, Ribcage might one day see the sudden rise of a lawful evil order of clerics, promoting their dark beliefs and converting many citizens to the worship of their lawful evil god. Were this to occur, there would be a good chance that the town would slide off the neutral Outlands, becoming part of the lawful evil plane of Beator. Whole layers of planes may move this way. Thus, many wars are wars of belief and faith by necessity. They are the tools by which territory is obtained and held. This, then, is the power of alignment and belief to shape the planes. The session has ended. May belief guide your actions and shape the planes to your will. Farewell, all of you.
All right.
That was interesting. Oh, hello, Mr. Murder Sense. That's right, I remember your name. Jumble gives you an awkward bow and an uneasy look. It's clear he'd rather not have anything more to do with you. Just passing by, Jumble. Farewell.
Done. I'm gone.
Oh, this is the thief one, apparently. Eli Havelock. Oh, we met him outside. He came back into this location. We are not currently a thief,
All
though.
right.
Let's talk to him. Maybe he can help Anna. Huzzah! Look who's arrived. Eli shoots you a wicked smile. Welcome to my stomping grounds, Cutter. Ready to train? Not right now, Eli. Farewell. Okay. We can come back to him if we need to train. But technically, Anna's with me, so I don't see why I would need to go back to him.
Done.
Maybe when we're a thief and he can train us, he's able to improve our thieving skills a little more. But I'm done being a thief, I think. If I do any thieving, I'll become a thief and enter the Modron maze and level. But I don't intend to be a thief again in the game. Mage in training, mage in training. Only training mages. This person is carrying a sheaf of papers and unwound scrolls. They occasionally pause to look through them and read portions of what's written aloud, practicing elaborate hand motions as they do. They look up as you come to stand before them. Greetings. Greetings. What is this place? This is where aspiring mages come to train and study. Many wizards took their first steps in the art as fledgling sorcerers here. Where's the trainer?
Updated my journal.
I do not know where Lady Thorncombe is gone. I would suggest you try the sensoriums. She spends much of her time there. They lower their voice, frowning. Perhaps too much. Oh, where are they? Ask Splinter, just inside the fest hall's entrance of them. You cannot reach them yourself, but he will take you there.